Hey guys, Joel here from Devon, and it is day 0 of us going to UK Games Expo 2018. I have just literally finished packing the car this morning, been up since about 7ish, getting ready, and the car is pretty full, and I've still got to get Lewis and Michael in. If you can see, it's packed up there and stuff. I've got 3 boxes of turn the lights on. 3 boxes of games. Yeah, so that's just my sheet. Yes, games already packed up. Food and drink. Just my bag of stuff, and then in there is a couple of games I'm taking with me, but that's about it. So yes, and then it just leaves that much room for Michael and Lewis and their gear. So hoping, fingers crossed, they've not pulled too much. So yes, just waiting. I said I'd leave about 9 o'clock, so I'm just kind of sitting back and contemplating what I've not packed yet, which I can't really pack anymore, but there's always something you missed, so I am just kind of sitting back and chilling for a minute before I leave. See you soon. So yes, literally just as I pulled off, I did realise I'd forgotten something, and that was my cat. Yay, cat! And it's back with the Stetson as well. But so now I am actually leaving, and first off I'm going to go and pick up Michael. So, made it to UK Games Expo, to NEC, and I've actually been here for a couple of hours. I've checked into a hotel. I've also been into the show itself and helped a bit at Meeple's Corner. I've just had to bring my car out and park it. But on the way up here, nightmare of a situation. This happened. Got stone chip here, and I've got a crack running up my windscreen. I tried to tape it just to stop the crack, because the window people I called cannot get to me until Saturday. The car was pretty full on the way up here, but we got everything in. Not bad journey, except for the crack where I stopped. We stopped at Turver Station, and I spent an hour trying to call someone to try and get it fixed. Then we thought a chance a journey to get up here. But it's looking pretty busy in the show, and I'm just about to walk back and go back in and help out and see the others. So we'll get back in there. So here we are, we're actually wandering through Hall 1 in its devastating state. So this is about, I think, 3 o'clock, maybe a little bit later. This is actually the Pegasus Spiel stand in its kind of infancy. That carpet was practically laid by Lewis and a couple other people from Pegasus Spiel. There's Michael stacking a load of games that need to be carted from that end to the opposite end, not down there, but the opposite way, to the shelving where Meeple's Corner is. You saw a a time-lapse video of a bit of Meeple's Corner lot setting up the stands, and then the Pegasus Spiel guys setting up their demoing stand. So now we're just having a walk through on the Hall 1, kind of showing what it kind of looks like in its like infancy of development. A lot of you probably just walk in and it's all there, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. Some of these people have been here from the morning setting up. It's Keek and Son bringing all their stuff in, really making a show of it this year. A lot of effort is now going into what people are bringing along to this show and how they're going to try and wow the spectators into actually coming to the stands. How much effort, how much money is being put into it. There's the Brain Game guys, their new games, Pyramid of Pen Queen and Ice Cool. Ice Cool 2 wasn't out this year. There was a few late development issues, so they had to send it back, as I was told. So really, this is me kind of testing out my new 3-axis stabilizer I bought for this kind of thing, to use my phone's camera and walk around the hall and stop that kind of motion sickness happening when you're just using it freehand. So it's me just testing this out, seeing how well it is, and I'm pretty sure this is actually doing quite well. I'm quite happy with how it is keeping the camera quite stable and smooth motion. So next bit will be going into Hall 2. Later on it will be the press preview. So here we are, it's still Thursday, it's about 10 to 6 and I am walking through Hall 2 at the minute. Lots of building work going on, lots and lots of building work, and half of this hall is being sectioned off. So all sectioned off for the tournament, and it's like Legends of the Five Ring section. You've got Netrunner, X-Wing, massive section off. European Championship play. This looks pretty good. Look at it. I remember when it's all like very makeshifty, but now they're really going all out on this. Looks excellent. And now I'm about to go into the preview. Good. Yeah, what are you up to?
So are these the upgrades that you get?
Exactly, yeah. As you flick on, as you collect resources, and then up on those, next turn you start by collecting that resource.
Yeah, what's on it? If nobody knocks you off or something.
Yeah, and then you will obviously purchase these upgrades there for the different. You can do different stuff. You can either hit all the ships and steal resources from them and
Can I
get
have a little
victory
go?
points. Yeah, absolutely.
See how easy it is.
Yeah.
So which one am I on now?
Now you're on blue. It's always where the...
So what if I was like that?
then you would be on the empty space.
Oh, it's where the point is.
It is where the point of the nose is. So, and there's upgrades that gives you, if you end up with the nose on an empty space, you get a point basically.
Yeah. That's very interesting.
And then you obviously, so if he is here and is going to collect a red one and you want to sort of stop that, then you flick him away like that.
Yeah, that's quite good.
And he ends up on an empty one, and here you would pick a red one.
You can pick either, can you?
Depends. But this,
that's red.
Yeah. So, but there's some cards make it. Some upgrades make it you can pick whatever next one is.
Okay. Yeah.
So. And
Is this out yet? Or is this...
These are all made so they're pointing inward. So even if it is a little bit of leeway now when it's new, you shouldn't get stuck on these.
On the edges.
You don't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think so.
Is this out now?
Yes, it is. We have a limited amount here on the show that we start selling. So it is. Yeah, but it's first time we start selling it to the public, and we also sell it on a web page.
Yeah.
So you can get hold of it on the web page as well.
It's, you play these bog goblins who start in the middle in their home in the warren.
Yeah.
and they're trying to become the king by completing an evil quest. So they need to kill the last unicorn or steal a baby, something fairly evil like that.
All the bad stuff, yeah.
So each goblin has a particular combo of dice, so these refer to the dice. And you're moving through trying to complete challenges, kill monsters, so the monsters get placed on there, and you have to roll through, get all the right dice to complete the challenges.
And so you collect dice, do you, or do you have a? Is this your set
You
dice?
start with those.
Yeah.
You'll get as you explore, you'll get equipment. So you get one of those in your slot there, which will give you an extra. You get extra white dice.
Yeah.
Or you can get pets, which give you extra stuff too, or spells.
Oh, so they carry extra stuff as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And eventually you'll build up. No, it's competitive.
It is competitive.
So you're racing to get to one of the
Oh, I
fields
see. You've got
to finish the.
And how do you get these? Sort of move through the.
Yeah, so use the feet. These feet give you movement. Obviously, the eyes allow you to peek because these are all start face down. So the eyes allow you to peek at what you're going to face
before you.
And then you do different combinations to fight the monsters and avoid the traps. So once you killed the monster, that would come off. You'll be able to access that, which is a bit better. Might get some gold. And gradually you power up enough to reach the end and go for the corner ones. So it gets harder as you travel.
So can more than one person follow the same track?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
But they tend to get in each other's way. And the main thing with this is the moment you fail a dice roll, your goblin dies.
Goblin dies?
It's very harsh. That's why there's 12. 12 in the set. Again. So you start again. You drop all your stuff. So you die there, you drop your stuff. You tend to scatter a load of stuff when you die. Everyone races to pick it up.
Yeah.
And you tend to get through three or four goblins if you're not doing very well.
Yeah. That sounds like my kind of dice roll. Excellent.
Cool.
Looks like good fun.
It's out now, is it?
It is going on Kickstarter at the beginning of July.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I might keep an eye out for that.
You're the kid. Yeah, good.
Good day so far?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Lewis, sorry. Hi. Joel.
So, Dice Hospital, have you seen anything at all?
I
from
backed it.
I remember
You
the
backed it?
Kickstarter.
Okay,
I didn't back it. That was I went for Seventh Continent that month, I think.
Oh, okay, yes. So I did that as well.
Sounds
Spent a
mad.
lot of time.
Well, that's you.
Yes, it is. That's why I put it nice and like front and centre.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I may have gone a little bit all in.
Yeah.
Quite happy showing it off and everything.
Yeah.
So this is also I've noticed this is the final production copy.
Oh, this
as well.
is the production.
Yeah, this is the production copy. So this is almost there, but this is like the latest one they sent us as well. So you can see
It's a bit
the
more
new
gloss
cars and stuff, like the glossier finish.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Like the one I was play testing as well, which was like the first ones. All of this was all separate, so it's a lot better. Like
Yeah, I
initial
remember it on
starting
Kickstarter. So now you're starting bits all as well.
all as one, a lot easier,
Definitely.
and it feels a lot nicer. See, this one doesn't have.
So this is just retail, isn't it?
This one doesn't have fancy ambulances.
Yeah.
In as well.
Yeah, but they were very expensive.
Yes. It's come through. It's all seasonal happy with it, so it's coming next week or the week after.
Yeah.
Hopefully hitting the boats.
And these dice are basically like patience, aren't they? Is that right?
Yes, yeah. So taking a number of dice in the bag, rolling them, and that will go onto the ambulances, which I did put out.
And then you're trying to cure them somehow.
Cure them, yeah. So, but at the same time, you sort of don't want to cure them very quickly. You want to get everyone to be the same
The
level.
more you cure,
the more points you
at
get.
the
So
end round,
in
you get
one
more
round,
points.
Yeah,
okay.
so like it considerably, so you get one, two, so it considerably builds up. Sort of like a Ticket to Ride. If you're the longer train track,
Yeah. So you want to save them up, but save them all at once. Yeah.
Same more. So you
you
sort of
get
like
the combo.
want everyone to be just as bad as each other and just slowly go up.
What I love is
There's more rooms that you buy.
it's real people, but you're actually treating dice
Yes.
in the illustration.
Yeah.
You're literally treating dice. You've got poorly dice.
That is quite funny.
Yeah, so like, we're also taking pre-orders and everything now as well for people. So
Funny.
they'll see come out after.
Just send mine.
Yeah, just
Rufus is a relatively new one.
Yeah.
Sort of like Rummy style. you want to like build up hands to get more points at the end of each round.
Yeah,
Based on
as well.
I'm using this ability now.
It's just deck collecting, adding more into there to then build up sets.
This one flips over to the other side and
goes over about 6.
But then obviously
rounds.
you're losing
rounds this one. Yeah. Sorry, I only learned this one like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
6 rounds.
It's
and doing the actions on there as well. So you've got the more pirates you get, you start like very.
Oh, sure, okay, yes.
So
I think this is probably. Again, did you want me to explain? Coral Islands.
Yeah, go on.
Which one are you most interested in?
Well, I backed Dice Hospital.
Yeah, I heard on the podcast. I heard on the podcast.
Good. Nice. So yes.
Did you listen to the podcast?
Yeah, when I tweeted it out and linked their name.
Honestly, I was like, yes.
And then I've done another video. I've done another 10 games that like caught my eye and Ruthless. So
You should have a go of it.
Yes.
The designer will be demoing it.
Yes, you're following me on Twitter now, aren't you?
Yes.
I remember. Yeah.
Did you want me to show you Coral Islands?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know who you are.
So, Coral Islands is
tell you
you
what
guys
I'm
played
doing.
Sagrada? Okay.
Sagrada. No, I haven't played that one yet.
So think Sagrada but 3-dimensional.
That's clever.
A little
and
bit
hard.
Yeah, and actually when we first envisaged it, we didn't want to make it that way.
Yeah.
Because when the designer originally pitched it to us, it didn't have any of this stuff.
Right.
So we worked with him to create this element, which is the mid-game scoring stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Coral Islands is basically a dice stacking game, and each player will take on the role of being a coral scientist who will try to basically repopulate the coral.
Right. Yeah.
In a damaged area.
Good topical theme.
Yeah,
I like that.
And here's the man himself. So Brett helped develop it. Hi, Matt.
Hey, right.
Anyway, so there's 2 ways to score. There's the mid-game scoring, which is 3-dimensional shapes.
Yep.
So just shapes that matter there, is it?
Just shapes.
Yeah.
So for instance, this one is 3 dice of your colour in this orientation.
And then the fourth.
In any orientation as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, to make it easy.
Yeah.
And then this black one is wild.
So it can be yours, can't be anyone.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've always got to watch out for what other players are trying to go for, because there are always 2 available of each scoring type. So these ones require wild dice. These ones don't, but they're obviously very difficult. So they give you 10 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And presumably you have the shape within somewhere else.
Yeah.
So you do hard to spot if there's a big block.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but we wanted to have that 3-dimensional puzzle.
Yeah. They're sort of see-through. You can work with that.
Is it going to be these dice or?
It's going to be roughly these dice. Yeah.
Also.
Yeah. I think opaque is probably not as fun.
No.
No. But
my orange is definitely through there.
But essentially, how you score is these mid-game scoring, but also you look once the game's over. Everyone's placed their dice. The game stops. So there's 16 dice each. Once that's over, you then look from the top, and then you look to see which of the dice are yours from the top, and then you just take the stack, just to make it nice and simple. So there's a 5, there's a 1, whatever. You tally that up, and then you halve it. Okay.
When do you take the stack? Sorry,
at the very end of the game.
Very end of the game.
So you tally out what's on top of it.
Exactly. So let's say I had 12.
Yeah.
My final mid-game end game scoring for that is 6.
Oh, just the top one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I add it to my cards as well.
Okay.
And you get the stacks where your dice are on top, right?
Yes, exactly. How you play the game is you roll the dice at the beginning of the game, and you put your coral in your buckets, because that's how they do it in the wild. They take it from a healthy population, put it in a bucket, and they put it in an unhealthy population. So I found that really interesting when I read that. Yeah.
Coral transplant.
Exactly. And each number does something different. So 1s and 2s, you can go straight onto the seabed. 3, 4, 5, 6, they must go onto a diver. So I don't have the diver card here, but 3s and 4s, when they go onto the diver, you can plus or minus your number or someone else's number on the diver's pack.
Right.
And then 5s and 6, when you put that on the diver, you must re-roll one of your dice on your player board, because obviously 5s and 6s are very powerful. They can pretty much go anywhere. The diver only has 3 slots in his backpack, and it goes in numerical order. So whoever goes 1, 2, or 3, whoever places the last die, let's say I placed my 3rd die there in his 3rd place, the diver then immediately launches. But then it's position 1 goes first, then position 2, and then position 3.
We're the same.
Yeah, so the placing rules are it must be higher.
Higher, that's it.
That's it.
Colour
It doesn't
next
matter.
to each other.
It's got to be orthogonal.
Yeah. But you can place a 2 next to a 6 or a yellow next to a yellow.
That doesn't matter.
It's just
when you're stacking it.
You've got to go higher.
Yeah, no, I think that's going to be really good.
And then so a tower presumably can be 6 tall.
There are also different ways how to combine it. So this is
Hello.
interesting where you can hold the rolls.
This is the new ice cool. But it's that's the
Yeah, you can talk up to 8.
The first, second round starts. Just like looking at it and try to get to find. Well, it's like nice to have like the winner is the one.
I really like the new color.
Yeah, so here there's a mummy piece. That like for example, if I'm the mummy and you're
When they go
the
to rest,
adventurous
you
penguins,
can have them
then I'm going to
until,
control it
the
here.
next turn.
But that's the only thing. That's the only piece I see here.
Yeah.
And while you see everyone, you see the mummy and other players. What you're going for are the artifacts scattered there. Everyone wants like one of each color. And I'm just trying to catch all of the penguins enough times. So everyone has like 3 lives, but I don't necessarily have to eliminate everyone. It's just like, for example, 7, I think, or 4 players. So,
Did you were listed for?
a bit nosy in the bottom. And good catch. And there we have the dice that you roll.
That decides your movement, is it?
And you pick one, and that's how many times you move. If you get an arrow, you get to move a straight line until you hit a wall or an obstacle, which is like a different player or a mummy. And also 1 in 6 chance there's a mummy symbol this way, right? And that blocks your dice. And also to get it back, like for any player, you need to sort of unlock it by granting the mummy extra movement points. So it's a tough choice, but eventually you always have to do it because they lock up fairly quickly. Well, it depends on the roll, right? And this is mummy dice. It's just extra movement.
This one looks great.
That's
Sounds like a fun lot
that's
of
the
game.
gist of it.
It's a remake, isn't it? Of Remember.
Famous pyramid game.
Got you.
Bit small, aren't they?
They're very small pieces. Is this final production? The pieces are quite small, aren't they?
Well, there's the safety issue. The magnets cannot be stronger than a certain.
Of course,
That's the reason.
Oh, and also small
And
pieces, I guess.
either they are that big. That big. Not so you can't swallow. But they wouldn't work. Like the click wouldn't work.
Okay. Through the cardboard, I guess. Okay. Ice Cool 2, everyone knows Ice Cool 2. What are the new additions with Ice Cool 2?
Ice Cool 2?
Yeah, what does it add in?
So it's an expansion, but also standalone. So aside from making everything bigger and also granting extra penguins for like extra players. Also, it grants side quests. So you can sort of go for maybe I can go through 2 entrances at the same turn.
Yeah.
Have side quests and extra points.
Yeah.
And also, you get the chance to replace fishes. So, since everything is much grander, then you might actually strategize and find the perfect place for your fish or someone else's. And those are the 2 main. Oh no, actually, this is pretty cool.
I was going to say there's some sort of sliding thing.
Yeah. This turns it into a platformer almost. Right, because you get to move it before you flick.
Right.
And so, for example, you place it wherever you wish. Then you flick it. The next player can do the same.
Do you have to move into it?
Honestly, I can be just starting here and move it.
Okay.
Well, they get the same privilege of moving it, so they're probably not gonna be too.
Looks like that, but
it will probably not get in the way too much. I reckon. I don't know.
Well,
probably.
Yeah, as I say, those are the layouts, isn't there?
And modes, actually. Race. We have like the race mode.
Oh, cool. That's a good idea. I always thought the first game needed that.
Yeah, well now now it's bigger. Now it has more curves, more room for maneuvering. So now races for sure.
I used to be really good at this. Oh, I was going for the side curve.
Gizmo, I've seen this.
Yeah, this one isn't due to release until Gen Con, so it's a bit further away.
Yeah.
The idea in this one is, let me just put
Looks like Potion Explosion.
Yeah, except this time you don't have the marble explosion bit. I just take them from the dispenser and I've broken it. This is because it's a demo copy. Please do not judge the game based on that incident there. Tragic.
Lucky they all didn't come.
Tragic. I did just have a young human playing with the game, so I put this in my marble dispenser. Let's
How many do you get?
well, you can actually only hold a maximum of 5 initially, as it tells you here how many you can hold. But say I've cheated.
These plastic.
Yeah, they are plastic. So now I can choose to buy some of these along here.
I'm breaking it again.
Oh my god!
I fixed it and then I've broken it.
Oh no!
What have you done?
This
isn't just like the podcast. This always happens.
This is what clearly.
Bill, sorry, you were saying. So you get 5.
So say I've got my red marble, so I'm like, and then I choose to buy this.
And that costs 1 red
Cost
there.
me 1 red.
Yeah.
So how much it costs is down the bottom, and then this is how many victory points I score at the end. And this is where it goes because it matches the pick symbol, and this is the special ability it gives me. So now it's really cool because whenever I take a blue, I get to take another random one from the top. Take blue, get a random.
Random one from in there?
Yeah. So then you keep going through, buying cards. The first person to get 16 cards, or the first person, or when all of the top rowers complete, you triggers end of round, and then the person with the most points wins.
Okay. So you kind of build up and build up.
Yeah, you build up your engine. So this one allows you to pick more. You have build ones, and often that gives you points when you build. So like this one here, whenever I build a yellow or a black, I get a victory point. And this one allows me to hold more marbles, that kind of thing. So you're kind of going for a strategy to try and get you victory points.
Yeah.
So,
where's the minis? Sorry.
Does this pack away like this, or do you have to take it apart?
No, you don't actually have to take it apart with this one. You can, once it's built, just take that and then just take this top bit off, which I won't do, otherwise it will collapse again. But yes, that is what you have to do.
Okay.
So nice.
Simple engine builder.
It is, yeah.
With a little random generator about.
Yeah, I mean, what's nice, you've got this little visual on its tactile element, but it's still £35, so it's still a decent price point.
Yeah, that's not bad, is it?
Yeah, cool mini or not.
It's not quite the same as
No,
bigger box minis.
There they come. What did you do minis quite well?
These ones are, there's been some really positive feedback on these miniatures particularly.
You heard of Wildlands?
No.
Okay.
I don't remember it on the preview, so...
Yeah. Okay, this is a game that's going to be coming out in October. It is a 2 to 4 player arena combat game.
Okay.
It's designed to be
quick playing, simple, but fun.
Wiz War.
Not really. No,
Not as annoying as Wiz War.
no. I mean, for instance, there are no dice in this game.
Good.
There,
Already onto a winner.
yeah, I've tried to keep things as simple as possible. So basically, well, when I say simple, it's simple in the sense the rules are simple, but what you can do, the situation itself is quite complex. So it does allow for skillful play.
Yeah.
So there's four teams in the game. So each team is made up of 5 characters, and so each team has their own deck of cards, which determines their strengths and weaknesses. So basically, when you want to do stuff, you have to play all of your actions. You use cards to do your actions. But the twist is the cards will have multiple team symbols on them, which means that if you use a card for one of your team members, then the other 2 are missing out on potentially doing an action. So what it means is you kind of have to focus on which team member, which of my team do I really want to do stuff with? Because by doing that, your other team members are going to be able to do less stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's really the core mechanic. So at the beginning of the game, you get about 10 map cards. You assign 5 of them to your characters, and the other 5 go to the player to your left, and that determines where their objectives are. So you're being able to plan where your guys go, and you're also being able to create problem for your opponent by trying to make sure that their objective areas are spread out.
Yeah.
But also, you don't start with your pieces on the board. So you also don't know where the enemy is, because you only have to reveal 1 per turn. So you can keep people back and who can pop up and surprise the opponent.
Yeah. So where do they come onto the board?
Usually they come on this location. This guy here, if he starts in 13, boom, then you put him.
He just jumps straight
jumps
in
13.
If someone's on 13,
then let's say that was 13. So if this person goes into here, so the thing is, when it's your turn, you can do as many actions as you like.
Yeah.
So it was at this point that I lost interest in the game. It just sounded like Wiz War without the dice. And even that, this was actually Martin Wallace behind talking about the game. I didn't realise at first, never really seen a picture of him. But anyway, he just didn't even sound sold by his own game and was struggling to try and highlight the important parts or what the good parts was. And Lewis tried to decipher what was unique about this game, and he came away with that there wasn't much unique about the game. Miniatures were cool, the graphics looked cool, but I just wanted to see what else was around, and this was taking up too much time. So I moved on, leaving Lewis to decipher what was going on.
But where the strategy lies is...
Like, we put out this teaser before Nuremberg. And
the one picture,
and
the one paragraph,
and everyone's going, "Oh my god, I can't wait for this game!" And it's like, you know nothing about it.
That's right. People see quality; they understand.
Yeah,
it's all good. So, what do you know about it aside from?
Do you know what?
One paragraph.
Someone told me. It was one of my co-hosts told me, and he was like, and I was like, now I've forgotten, but it's still intrigued. So.
I'll do this one.
Alright, you do this one.
So, Holding On, The Troubled Life of Billy Kerr, it's a cooperative game where you're nurses working in a hospital. And the game opens where this patient has been brought in. His name is Billy Kerr. He's 60 and he's just been rushed to your hospital following a massive heart attack on a flight from Sydney to London. He's been given days to live, but he keeps saying, I can't go yet. I need to set things right. Okay? So, that's kind of the thematic setup for the game. The game is played over 10 scenarios where you're basically trying to help Billy come to terms with the 3 regrets that keep him holding on. Okay? Mechanically, the way it plays is you start, so we've a narrative deck. So you set up the game by starting with the first scenario. So you flip it over and you read the introduction to the scenario. And then it gives you any changes to the setup and the rules for the game. Okay, it's the first scenario. There's no changes. Then it gives you the objective. So the objective for this first scenario is unearth some basic information about your new patient. Players must have at least one clear memory in each timeline of Billy's collected memories. Okay, so I'll explain that. Billy's collected memories is basically his life experiences, and they're told across 30 different illustrated cards. Okay, there's partial memories where he's not telling you the full story, and all you'll see is a picture of him, and everything else is blurred on it. Okay, as you build trust with them, you can talk to him and try and get clear memories. And they are basically the kind of the full version of the card that can be played on top.
Yeah, so she's missing.
Yeah, so bringing more of his kind of story into focus. Okay.
Oh yeah, like is he hugging a pillow? No, it's a baby. Right, okay, I'm with you. Yeah.
I mean, it does say on the back. Holding her that first time, she was so perfect. I mean, if he was talking about a pillow, he loves that pillow. So the cards also have these little stitches on the side which show where they go. Right. So which cards they are next to.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you super quick how round works. Okay, so the game is played over days. And these are days in the hospital, and they represent you as staff having to cover shifts during the day. Okay, so it begins by one player becoming the shift manager. So they have the shift manager board. Basically, they're responsible for assigning people to shifts during the game, including the players and the assistants that are available as well. Okay, so Billy starts at 28 health. So we start and we flip over the first card to see what the morning shift is going to be like for the day. Okay, so basically you can see 2 staff are needed to cover the shift, and he's deteriorating. He's going to go down by 2 on the condition track if you don't provide medical cover. Okay, but if you actually focus on providing palliative care instead, he will share memories with you from his past, or you gain trust in the form of a care token.
Right.
Okay, so care tokens are actually what you need to provide the medical care as well. So it's important to find a balance between slowing his decline but also spending time with them as well.
Yeah.
So say for example I send these 2, so that's Michael and an assistant. Michael's the senior staff there, so he would get to decide which path to take. So you can only provide one or the other. So say Michael says I'm going to take the 2, he's going to provide the 2 care.
No, it's okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Okay. So then, so he keeps them alive. So that's that shift covered.
So would you have to have earned these before?
So you begin with some.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you didn't go that direction, then you go down.
Yeah. So I'll show you. I'll show you that on the next card. Okay. So flip over the next card. So it's going to take 2 more people to cover the shift. So I'm going to send you and an assistant. Okay. So now he's stable. So if I provide medical care today, his condition will actually improve by 1.
Oh.
Okay.
Or we can provide palliative care and he'll share memories from his past. The way that works is you take the partial memory deck, you give it to another player, and they act as Billy, so it's as if you're talking to Billy.
Right.
And they start drawing the number of cards indicated here. And you basically stop if you encounter an event. So 2 cards. So first card, I read it out to you. We used to head down there to get away from it all. It's where I met her. Okay, so I give it to you face down. You don't look at it yet.
It's a slightly larger, sexier pillow.
Well, I'd never experienced anything like it before. It was a revelation.
Definitely a pillow.
Definitely a pillow. Okay, holding on.
The pillow broken
these guys.
The cool side of a pillow. That's what that is.
Okay.
Sorry. We're professionals.
There's a man dying here. For the love of God. Okay. But actually, you've kind of hit into something that happens. There's a really weird vein of comedy that comes out when you play this game. So this indicates that on a day that he's stable, you can inquire, which means you can ask him about memories that are already in play to try and get the clear picture. So in this case, if we had some trust, we'd say, okay, I'm going to inquire after I've done my shift. And then you would take the memory deck, you would nominate a timeline. Timelines are indicated by the numbers here, shown on the side here.
Okay.
So this is from the first timeline, second timeline, fourth timeline, fifth timeline.
Oh, the
second,
dots.
or fifth.
And they also act as kind of jigsaw pieces to help you line them up together.
Okay,
Okay, so I might say, okay, Billy, I want to find out about this timeline 5. So then you would draw cards until you get a card from Timeline 5 or an event. And this gets really tense, yeah. So an event.
That's the worst.
So this one you're lucky, he's in good form, and this basically means ignore the event.
Yes.
Keep going.
Just a bit of
there.
that.
So you hold on to that.
Yeah.
Okay, these all get shuffled back in. If you had more care tokens, you could spend more to get more memories.
But you can keep spending.
Yeah.
Screw saving and just pile it in there, get the memories out now.
But then you do that, okay? And then this happens.
Oh, Billy!
It's almost like reloading the deck.
So you get a medical
How did
emergency.
you know that was coming out? That's really good.
So we assign whoever we've got spare, right? And now we're short 2, okay?
Yeah.
So we could bring in the on-call assistants, but they're like once-offs, like super staff. They come in, you work them to the bone, and then they leave again. Yeah. So it's not really in our interest to bring them in right now. So I'm going to ask these two to stay on and cover the next shift. So these are temporary tokens. But they would basically come over and they would gain stress. Now, if I was really doing that in the game and that was your character, you would lose. You'd have to lose 1 trust, 1 memory card. Okay. So the thing is, you've only got that memory card.
Oh, don't lose it. We're not losing
So I don't
it.
lose that. So in that scenario, what I would possibly do. So I'm going a bit deeper than I normally do with other players.
well,
is actually say, you know what, this person is going to cover the open slot. So they're doing the work of 2 people, so that you can stay there.
It's like the NHS live, isn't it?
It is, yeah. NHS the game.
Oh, when we do the live streams of this.
Oh, one thing.
Do you want to bring me along for the jokes?
So
if you just shout out pillows every like 18 seconds, that'd be fine.
It's a pillow! I'm just thinking.
Sorry.
I'm trying to think. Is there a pillow in here?
Is there a pillow? I'd love it.
So
there is one.
So when you cover
the baby.
So when you cover the night shift, you gain trust because you're there with them at night. So you can give that to anyone who is on the shift. So it would be the other character or the assistant. So I'm going to give it to the assistant, and it's going to be useful for them the next day. So we're now at the end of the day. We check.
So what happens if you don't fill these spaces?
Sorry, I forgot to explain. Yeah. So he goes down by 4.
But if we do fill these spaces,
so the first space was filled by placing the worker there.
Yeah, so we filled it. So what does that do?
So that allows you to then tackle that card. If you can't fill the spaces, you get a warning from the hospital. You get 2 warnings.
Okay, because I was going to say, if you know you haven't got 4 care tokens, you could just be like, nah, scrap it. But then you'll get a warning from the hospital.
So you have to go there. So if you were able to cover this, you would gain trust and gain a care token. In this scenario, in this case, we're going down by 4. Okay. So end of the day, then we get to reveal all the partial memories that have come up during the game.
So they're always revealed and always added.
So you're trying to piece them together.
Unless you have to give them back.
Doesn't match.
Unless you screw it up.
No.
So we're trying to see if they. No, that's from a different
3
timeline.
anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't got 3.
Oh, but look, so that links to that one up there.
Oh, he's busking. Has he got a pillow?
Yeah. To save up money to get a pillow.
Yeah. That's how it all started.
So you'll see basically it's all a jumble, and then over time, and the more you play it, the more you'll see it. So then you would look at this card secretly, don't show anyone else, and see if it matches a card from the 5th timeline. If it is, you play it there. If not, it goes back to the deck.
So the answer to that is
no. Hang on.
Nope.
No.
I can't tell. I can't tell without putting it next to it.
So you can tell by the position of Billy, and you can tell by the position of the stitches on the side of the card.
So
which one's unique.
Billy will always stay in the same thing.
Okay, so the objective for the first scenario is to get 1 memory from each timeline to get some basic information about him. So it would happen then where the shift manager role would shift to the next person, they cover the next shift. His health goes up, it goes down, you have medical disasters, you have stress staff, you have people where you send them home on leave. You know,
you lose them for the round.
So you lose them for the round, but then they come back refreshed.
How many workers you have?
The amount of players plus 2 assistants.
And then 2 on-call assistants as well.
Yeah.
So you're never... Oh, because you might get 2-2-2 and that'd be fine.
You might get 1-1-1.
Oh, you might get 1-1-1. Okay, fine.
How
You might
do you
get
win
3-3-3.
I was going to say...
So you win by completing the objective.
Oh, okay.
So the objective is to get the 5 memories out in this one. that unlocks the second scenario. So the second scenario has a different win condition. So you're having to win the different scenarios.
I don't think I've seen anything like it.
Good. I don't think so.
That's truly original.
Sorry. You guys.
Even the kind of mechanisms are original, aren't they?
So, is this out or is it going to be out?
It's going to be out at Essen. Yeah, so
Next
this weekend is basically the first opportunity for the public to play it.
Yeah, because this has been talked about
since Nuremberg.
I'll read you the intro to the first scenario, okay?
Yeah,
just to give you a teaser. So it'll give you a bit more idea of what's going on.
So you mean the tabletop tour where we are the number 5 hottest game in the entire show?
Did you listen to our podcast with the creator of the tabletop tour?
No.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, Peter. Devon Dice podcast.
Number 50.
Yeah, the 50th episode.
All right.
We talk about this actually.
All right, so who is Billy Kerr? On our way out, the head nurse turns to you.
Great, that's him.
I will see you later.
Little game, beer.
Devon Dice.
Lewis. Yes, I think we had exchanged words. Yeah, well, I think it was me.
Yeah.
I think it was other Lewis maybe, was it, that you met last year?
Lewis the second.
Yes.
There is a reincarnated Lewis.
Yes. There's definitely something we met last year from Devon Dice.
Oh,
So this
yes,
is micro.
because we played
He's played
a 3D printed version of this.
Yeah, the
Yes.
Landers Land Premium.
Yes, I remember.
Oh, are you?
Sorry.
You joined
Oh, Joel, yes.
last year.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
sorry,
the
Joel.
podcast. And,
Yes.
with
Yeah.
Sam, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
we
this
talked
is-
about microbrew on our
Yes.
preview, I remember.
Yeah, thank you. So this is microbrew. It's a tiny wee game.
Yeah.
I can give you a review copy if you wish.
That would be awesome. Yeah, thank you very much.
Have you got a card?
I will. No, I've left mine at the.
Have you left them in the...
I'm just trying
I will
to.
drop it down to you.
I'm glad we're not the only ones who aren't organised. at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
I hope they're still down at the desk.
Yeah. Did you listen to our podcast?
Oh, that one's got a label.
I've got a good...
Oh yeah, that's Mark's.
Yeah, Devon Dice. Yeah, I think. Bro, anyway.
Anyway, so the bit in the top is just the new art. This is what the actual production art's going to be. You want to hear the game? Okay.
This is the art, is it?
Yeah. So this is going to be the new art. It's Beanie Games. Remember we used to go? Now I see the shirt. I'm like, you might look vaguely familiar, but. So I used to play competitive Pokemon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then real schoolwork.
She's talking about.
Yeah. I still do. I've had exams and oh my god. Yeah, as soon as you go to fourth year, it's like I know you have an actual career to think of. No more Pokemon. Exams!
Who did the artwork?
Victor Corbello. He's an Italian. He did Samurai Spirit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nigel did this artwork.
Sorry?
Nigel, my husband.
Okay, yeah.
So Nigel and I
quite like the original artwork.
Yeah, that's the thing that lots of people do. So we're going to actually have a pledge where you can get, we will make a setup like this where we just make it up ourselves.
Yeah.
And you'll also get a published copy as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be a lot more expensive.
Our stall's not even set up yet.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
But anyway, so the aim of the game is that you are trying to get as many loyal customers. This is our new game. You're trying to get as many loyal customers as you can from the thirsty customers that are here. The way to get a thirsty customer is by brewing beer. You brew beer by basically playing the puzzle. So light warts move up, dark warts move down. So as part of a move, you could sort of move all this all the way up, and everything would move down.
It's the Conga line of shoving.
Yes, and then you would end up with a line of enough yellow to be able to bottle this.
So you're going to make those shapes, have you?
So the game itself is going to come in hexes. Hexagonals.
Right. Yeah.
It's just for prototyping purposes.
Yeah. So this will be hexes, will it?
So these will all be hexes as opposed to circles.
Yeah.
To be able to bottle it, you have to go into the bottle function. So there's various things you can do. You can brew, you can mash, you can flush. So you can bottle, which is where you bottle beer. Mashing and flushing is where you flush the beer per lines, whatever lines you want to get rid of, out of your
so you clear a whole line.
Your lines, and it goes to the side to flush, to mash out all the used warts. Go back into the tin. You have to shake it, and then you can
use it to refill sort of thing.
Yeah.
To be able to bottle, you have to have a line that you're going to use. You then put it onto the card, but you can either go for a perfect brew. So say you had this yellow here, you bottle that to make a perfect. Then as the turns move back and forward, you ferment. So every time it moves away, you ferment. When it comes back, you ferment. Every turn you ferment it. So the card has got all the warts taken off it, and then it's ready to serve.
Where's the water?
The warts. These are called warts.
Yeah, okay, right.
So
you put your 4 on?
Yeah, you put your 4 on.
Oh, okay, and then every time the thing moves, you remove one, and when all 4 have gone, that's when you're being in condition, good to go.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So, depending on what you put into, if you were to put 4 yellow in, it would be a perfect brew. If you only had, let's say, 3 yellow and a brown, it would then be smooth. If you only had 2 yellow and any 2 other colours, it would then be rough. And if you had any old rubbish in there, it would be muddled. But you can serve your beer to anyone, but they won't become loyal to you.
Okay, unless it's perfect.
Unless it's perfect. But you still get money if you serve them. So if
Yeah.
I serve somebody a beer, so say I served that to him, he would no longer be thirsty.
Yeah.
So you would need to wait until the next turn to be able to flip him back over again.
Your next turn or just the opponent's
No, the next
turn?
round. Sorry, the next. So the turns keep going back and forward until all your brewers have been played. Once all the brewers have been played, then you move to the next round essentially. Depending on what round the brewmaster's on, you'll either bring out more customers, bring out more beer, or flush the tin, where you add all the water that's sitting about back into the tin. So that happens. So the way a round goes is people will play their meeples with their brewers, but if I want to, you can displace your opponent's brewers. So I can turn around and say, well actually I want to brew, and I can put this person here. They would then get that man back, and then they could play that man. And then, so I'd have no people to play, and they would still have 2, unless they displaced one of my people. And you keep going until everybody is on the board.
Okay, yeah.
And then that's the end of that round. So there's not a specific number of rounds for playing.
I saw someone talking about it. I can recognise the artwork.
Artwork, Vincent a trait who's done quite a lot of stuff.
No, but it was specifically about museum. Maybe it was you talking about it. I saw the artwork, so I feel like I read something online. Anyway, sorry.
That's okay.
What's this all about?
Well, it's called Museum and it's about museums. So we didn't try too hard with the title. You play as a museum curator, and the idea is you have to collect artifacts from the 4 continents, which is 4 decks here.
Yeah.
And once they're in your hand, you can place them into your museum to score points. And at the end of the game, you score more points if you can create collections. So collections can be based on artifact type.
Yeah.
So you've got literature, architecture, you've got navigation, theology, etc. Or your collections can be based on civilization, which is the card colour. So grey is Greeks, we have the Romans, we've got the Phoenicians, Mayas, etc. So to create a collection, cards have to be placed within your museum, totally adjacent to one another, much as if they were in the corridors of a real museum.
So you can go across as well?
Yep, you can go across. One card can be part of several collections, so, well, 2 collections,
Yeah.
mad. It's a fun little place.
Set collection, but a multiple.
That's it, yeah.
alleys.
Yeah, I like this sort of card placement idea. I haven't shuffled those, sorry.
This map here is a facsimile of this one, and so you put your specialists on here, and then they kind of affect everything that's going on around here. A lot of area control going on, so you can't just sit back and turtle, but you've got to get out there and get involved in the map. Lots of strategy and tactics, but we've managed to get it so we can get a whole box of minis, like 40 miniatures like this, into this box that come along with the main box.
Wow.
And, 40 minutes was like 50 quid for the whole box. It's just incredible. This is the first time I've seen it actually this evening, so I'm so impressed by the
Who painted it for you?
I don't actually know his name. Lewis knows. Lewis? That gent's name who painted the model. What's the gent's name who painted the model? Thomas the Man. Thomas the Man. What country is that? it does make. I really like what he did with the lighting. It's got like the glow effect on all the different like weapon points, all the hot weapons and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, we've only got 100 copies here this week, so we're it's kind of like a limited supply left now because it's just like these are the ones that we couldn't make off the rest of the Kickstarter.
Alright.
Just
how much is it then?
So it's 50 for the main box and 50 for the things, and together they.
Escaping. So the concept of the game is that it's the city of Fox, which is surrounded by the Everdark. The Lightbringer has died, and the players play Guardians who have to try and work together to keep the city safe.
Right.
So if they fail any of their objectives in any given round, the mark is removed and a piece of the Everdark moves into the city. And so there's a finite number of Everdark markers which can be in the city before the whole team loses. But towards the end of the game, the players also will start amassing respect, and the person with most respect at the end of the game will become the new Lightbringer. It's one of those games with that great turning point where everyone's been playing really nicey, and someone suddenly goes, you've got quite a lot of points, and they don't like that, so I'm going to start stabbing you in the back. Lots of betrayal in people's faces. He's got a way of wanting to kind of perfect it before he brought it to Kickstarter. But you can now actually go on his website and there's a preview for the Kickstarter, which is go live in a couple of weeks' time.
Cool. Cool, yeah.
But I know it's one of those things where he's wanting to make it absolutely perfect.
So we are just walking out of Hall 1 after doing the press junket, and these two scroats got in for free.
What are you talking about, mate? I am an exhibitor.
And now we're off to find some lunch or tea or just food.
So that was it for day 1 or day 0, as I put it at the beginning of the thing. It was busy, we were exhausted from helping set up and doing the press preview. That we jumped in the car, we went to a supermarket, picked up some snacks and food, then we went to McDonald's for some tea, and headed straight back to the hotel where we played a game of Heaven and Hell for the first time. Admittedly, I was far too tired to concentrate and didn't do too well due to that, I think. So, all ready for day 2 coming up.